Hey wholesome family, I'm back at you with another wholesome video, and today I'm just going to be planting some thyme, and this is probably pretty familiar to most of you. Just a quick hack that I like to do because most of the time that I'm cooking my little meals, I always make sure that thyme is a part of it. And that is just because I love thyme, I like the flavor, and I grew up eating a lot of that stuff in my foods, right? And thyme has a lot of anti-inflammatory benefits, so you really can't go wrong. There has been times when I used to have allergy problems. I don't have them anymore, guys. They're cured, right? Because of my diet. But there has been times in the past when I didn't understand how that was working out, that I was using thyme. And it actually seems as if it somehow relaxes the inflammatory process. It relaxes the bronchioles so that the air exchange is actually a little bit smoother passing through, okay? And thyme is something that's also used if someone has a cold, especially in the West Indies, which is where I'm from. We use a lot of thyme tea. If someone has a cold, we'll be using it, right? If someone, you know, would have a cough, which is pretty similar, would be the same. When I was younger and I used to eat lots of like really crappy foods, I had a lot of issues with acne, and I would do a mixture of like thyme tea. I would do like aloe vera, and then the other one that's called nopales, and that would actually clean up my system pretty well. And I would go back eating the same stuff, and then I would just blame it on my hormones because I was a teen, not understanding what was going on. There are also people who have had cancer who also use it and say that it works, right? That one I cannot attest to, but I know that that does happen as well. Old folks, guys, they drink the tea a lot, right? And in the morning time, my grandma would say that it helps to boost the immune system because it's very high in vitamin C, right? So that's one reason as well, okay? And I think that is how it's able to do some of what it does, right? And ever look at those older people back in the days, how long they were living. They were living pretty long because they were using lots of herbs, right? They drink herbs in the morning, and they pretty much carry on with herbs throughout the day, and that was silently doing something to boost their immune system and warding off diseases, right? So that is how we do it. Also, I think with thyme, it's been known to kind of lower the blood pressure, all right? So that is one thing. And there are people who actually use it as well just for nightmares, okay? So there's many different things that this is being used for, okay? On the other back end, it's also used, you know, in different forms of like folk medicine. Some people will just burn dry thyme, you know, for good luck. They'll use it almost similar to how some people will be doing like sage, all right, just for cleansing or purification. They'll use it in like a spiritual bath for like good luck, right? When I was pregnant, I drank the tea to help me to have contractions because my pregnancy was overdue and I didn't want to go through all the drugs that were involved to induce the pregnancy. And you bet I had a lot of contractions. So I'm not telling anyone to do that. I'm just saying that was what I actually did and it worked for me, okay? So I like to just always have thyme around in the yard. I've planted a few in other spots around the place, but I like to keep it close to the kitchen because when I'm cooking, I like to just run outside. And I always replace like my soil with organic soils before I actually start to put the plants in. It's 3 of them that I have, and I've dug a hole that's like 3 times the size, okay, just so I could accommodate. All right. And that is how I will do it. All right. And this is pretty dry, so when I do it, I'm going to make sure that I water them. All right. And this one, I picked it up local store, right? I just use a small amount. I haven't found where planting thyme really requires lots of fertilizers, so just a small handful is good enough for me, and I'll just put it in like this, okay? And that does it, all right? And I'll just still mix it up, and here I am, ready to go, okay? And 3 of these, it's pretty cheap. I mean, you could just visit your local store. I don't know what the price is, depends on where you are, right? You could just put it in like that. And there we go, we have 1, right? And then sometimes too, when I'm planting, I don't necessarily like for the plants to completely be buried under, just for them to be able to get oxygen. And I think this hole is slightly deeper, so I'm just going to be a little bit creative so that the plants are able to collect a little bit of oxygen from the top, okay? And sometimes I may have a few animals that come around and they'll try to have a party. You know, everybody wants to be a part of the party. So I may wind up putting some form of like mesh, like the tomato grills around it, and that would take care of it. And here we are. We have thyme here, all right? You can mulch this if you want. I don't mulch it, right? But it is an option, okay? I'm just gonna water it because it's pretty dry right now, all right? I don't want them to suffer until the rain comes, right? And my sprinkler system doesn't actually activate on this side, all right? So that is it. I've had myself some time, and in the future I could always come back and show you how pretty well they're growing. I'm gonna be coming here in the morning times. If I wanna make tea, I'll be picking, or if I pretty much just wanna go ahead and use it for cooking, all right? So I hope this is something you could consider as part of the wholesome journey to help yourself to be a little bit more self-sustainable, to be a little bit more organic in the garden, all right? And to just get your hands all in the soil. This is another form of purification as well, okay? Don't be afraid to get your hands all messy, all right? So please like, subscribe, share, all right? And we'll see you again on the next one.